Onto this now, the newly elected Director General of the International Organization for Migration, Amy Pope, is on a visit to Kenya where she'll meet President William Ruto and other senior government officials. On the agenda, talks on the ways of enhancing IOM's collaboration, promoting safe, regular and dignified migration and addressing migration challenges in Kenya, including climate change.
Migrating within Africa, right? So 80% of migration is happening across the continent. But for the number of people who are taking to boats, for example, across the Atlantic or the Mediterranean, we need to recognize what is fueling that movement. First and foremost, it's identifying where people are coming from. What is driving the migration? Is it lack of job opportunities, lack of economic opportunity at home? Is it safety? Is it persecution? And ensure that we're addressing solutions that focus on the primary drivers of their migration. The second, though, is to recognize that there are legitimate labor needs that exist in Spain, in Europe, all over the world. And those forces are pulling people because they can find jobs. So our goal is to make sure that people are not taking an irregular channel to access those jobs, but to work with governments like Spain to provide a regular legal access to the job market, to address the labor shortages that exist, but also to make sure that the smugglers are not profiting off of those economic opportunities, but the migrants, the communities they come from, and the communities they're going to. In East Africa, we're seeing people migrate in several different directions. We're seeing many, many migrants go south, towards South Africa, where there are job opportunities. We also see migrants who are going toward the Gulf. In fact, more migrants are crossing into the Gulf than are crossing the Mediterranean. And then, of course, finally, we see migrants who are heading toward Europe. So ultimately, we need to have solutions that address all of these different routes. It means engaging, first and foremost, on, as I mentioned, what is causing them to move. Is it lack of safety? Is it lack of economic opportunity? We need to be working with communities here to build out better economic opportunities, recognizing that the work that is happening as part of the free trade area will enable that kind of economic development. It also means creating better access to jobs within the region. If someone cannot make a living because of drought, for example, we need to find better livelihoods and ensure that they have access to those jobs. There's tremendous potential, particularly here in Kenya, to build out job opportunities. It's a fast-growing economy with tremendous leadership from the top and political will, but we need to make sure that people who are the most vulnerable have access to those job opportunities. And then finally, recognizing that people are going to move, we need to work with other countries to enable access to those job markets as well. Ultimately, human history is full of migration, right? This is the driver of civilization. But we know that when migration is managed well, it leads to tremendous benefits for everybody. When it's not managed well, we see a lot of death, we see exploitation, we see real harms to both the migrants as well as the communities that they are arriving in.